Welcome to the Outdoor Sports Club, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my refurbished shed, I guess. This is about, inside dimensions is about 11 by 14 shed, and we built it somewhere around a decade ago. Didn't have a lot of money when we built it, but I needed a place to work, I thought, and we needed a place to store some stuff, so there's a loft overhead that's a little bit shorter. And this shed, we built it, and then I moved some stuff out. I had a big military style or typewriter table, one of those old metal desks that's too low and too wide, and I was going to use that as a workbench, and I had that in here until recently. And I had some shelves back here. You guys, if you saw earlier videos, what's up, buddy? Good job. If you saw earlier videos, there was some, like a cork board on the wall that I had some stuff that was extremely pointless hanging on, and never used it. Had some shelves back there and stuff. I've got a toolbox over here and some other stuff. Anyway, I've accumulated junk over the years, and brought a got a bandsaw, which I want to do a video about the bandsaw, some stuff related to it someday. But anyway, I'm not ready to show the whole thing off as big as it is, 11 by 14, because I've still got some junk over here that I've got to take care of and organize and all that. But I started organizing it maybe a month ago. Yeah, it was about a month ago, and because I didn't have a place to work. It was intended as a place to work, and it wasn't a place to work. So I came in, and my son helped me build these. And put these on the wall, and I started. I'm not good at any of this stuff, but I decided to put up some French cleat instead of pegboard just for the fun of it, which is sort of interesting because I've got OSB back here that looks ugly, and I'm putting some French cleat over the front of that, but it's okay. I like it, and so I'm building these things to hang on it, and I've got a bunch of more tools in the toolbox that I need to organize, and some more stuff I'm going to get to try to get it out here. The things that I use the most, to get them out here. But that's not really what the video is about. It's I wanted to do a real quick video about decluttering your life, kind of a thing, and that's what I'm attempting to do here. I've made some changes in my life in the last year. I had a job that I really liked, and it had a lot of potential, and but it was 70 miles away from my house. I did it for a little over 7 years, and I was traveling more. I loved it. I loved almost everything about it. There were some management things going on that I'm glad I got away from, but I loved the job, and I wanted to be around my family more, so I took a lower paying job closer to home. That's a good job, but it's not quite as cool for me as what the last one was. Anyway, it gave me an opportunity to be closer to home. So my son helped me finish a deck and a fire pit that I started building the summer before last in 2017. My wife wanted to redo the bathroom, so we worked on that with some help from some other folks. And so I was able to get a lot of stuff done this year. And towards the tail end of the summer, I realized, man, I've got to do more with what I have, because I want land, and we haven't been able to buy land. We're working on it. We live in town, and we've got a little small place here, but we paid it off, and so now we're able to save and buy some other stuff that we want, and that's decluttering, just paying off debt. That's one of the best things you can do to declutter your life, because you have more freedom and you have more options at that point. So getting out of debt is one, and then cleaning up and organizing so that I can actually take care of the tools that I have, and so that I can use the tools that I have and put them back where they belong and have a place for them. So far this has been great. And like I said, there's still a pit in, or not a pit, but there's still a lot of stuff I need to organize in half of this shed, or nearly half of it. Yeah, no, a full half of the shed needs to be organized and needs to be so that I can use it, and then I can have more space in here and do more stuff. So decluttering is something that's kind of popular right now, or has been for a while, and a lot of people that I know declutter their lives by getting rid of stuff, and that's one thing. But for me, I've got a lot of hobbies, and I can't get rid of all the stuff. If you are single or you're married and your hobbies are like bicycling and taking care of your dog and reading, well, that doesn't require a ton of stuff. You got to have your bicycle gear, and you got to have your clothes to go bicycling in and go to the gym and all that. But if you're into hunting and fishing and camping and building things out of wood. You know, it takes more tools, and most guys that I know want to have a lot of tools, and they've got to have space for it. So you can't necessarily just throw away all the things that you haven't used in a while. You know, I've got a pipe wrench or two that I hardly ever use, but when I need them, I need them. So I can't necessarily get rid of them. Same thing with like an AR-15 armorer's wrench. I can't just get rid of it even though I don't use it all the time. But if I don't know where it is, then it's as useless to me as one that I don't have. So my theory of decluttering in terms of like things is kind of the same as in terms of my life. It's not necessarily to make super drastic changes all of a sudden. It's more to make your time and your space usable. So anyway, this video isn't to go on and on and on about that, because I'm no expert on that kind of stuff. But for me, it's being able to utilize this space and utilize my time better. And so that's what I've been trying to do this past year. And so far, it's worked out pretty well. And I find that whenever I get on a path like that, where I decide I'm going to make it better so that I can use this space, and then I start using it, I get more motivated to use it, and I find more projects to better my life and better the things that my family has to experience. So on the deck, we got done laying the flagstones around the fire pit in the middle of the deck, or at the edge of the deck, and then I built the fire pit and I lit a fire in it, and we had a bunch of brush. We had a brush pile over there for for years. Since we live in town, I can't just burn it willy-nilly, and so we started burning it, and then I thought, man, I've got all these other limbs I can cut. So we start cutting limbs, we start burning brush, and then as I cleaned up the yard, I don't really care about the yard that much, but as we cleaned it up, I thought, we need to put a flower bed over here, and I want to start gardening down in the corner of the place. So I started composting, and it's funny how that snowballs, and you get motivated. So when I come home from work after a hard day of work, instead of going in and sitting down, I don't watch a lot of TV, but sometimes you know how we all just turn the TV on and start watching TV, and then before you know it, 3 hours is gone. Instead, I find myself coming outside and wanting to do more stuff, and it's been better for me. I've been healthier because of it, and I've been able to, I don't know, like little stuff, like my daughter has a nutcracker that kept breaking. She collects nutcrackers. She had this nutcracker that kept breaking, and I fixed it last year and it didn't stay, and this year I'd already built this, so I came outside, I got the drill, and I drilled some little holes, and I cut some little dowels, and I sanded them down, and I glued them, and I put it all in place. I had to make a new nose for it. I was able to make that, not as well as I could if I had more space here and some tools that I want to acquire. Once I get the space, I'd be able to do an even better job then, but I was able to fix it, and it's not going to break again. Short of destroying the whole thing, it's not going to break, because it's put together better than I did last year, because I have space and I have tools to do it. So I'm speaking very generally here, but that's my theory, I guess, really roughly, on decluttering my life and my space. And I think that it's been a really important thing for me to do, not to get rid of all my stuff that I haven't touched in a year, but more to make all my stuff usable. Because after all, if you've got tools and you can't take care of them, and you don't know where they are, and you don't have a space for them, then they're almost, in many cases, they're almost like not having tools at all. So yeah, that's pretty general. That's my theory, but I'm going to cut it off there so I'm not rambling too much. So thanks for watching. Take care.